cut out of your life. Does that stand in the way of you doing that?
You mean, do you think that I would have resentments or something that would affect my...
Resentments towards either side, or just, happy to be here, not focusing, not paying attention?
I don't want to be here 3 weeks, but it would not affect my ability to pay total attention and to be objective.
Okay, thank you. The other thing that you've said as a kind of a theme of what you're saying is that you can't really, you feel like you might struggle with setting aside what you already know about the case. You apparently have a lot of details about this case as you relate it to us. Are you able to wipe off the chalkboard and start fresh and just listen to what's given to you in the courtroom in terms of evidence?
Well, I think I already answered that question. I don't believe I can wipe the chalkboard clean. What I've read and what I've seen is there. I can't make it go away. It's like I said before. If you tell me something that differs and, they were wrong, the press was wrong, we've been getting the wrong thing, this is what really happened, then I'll go with what you proved here. But if you don't even mention something that I have read, I can't make it go away. It's there.
And I guess the final thing that I want to ask you about is this information that you've gotten, which has left its mark in your mind. You certainly have these things in your mind. Are you able to set them aside to the extent that you don't have an opinion?
That's kind of hard for me to say because I'm really not sure what the defense is going to... I believe she's guilty of killing the children, but I think I know that the defense is saying, well, she's not really guilty because she was insane. And you haven't told me that. So if that's what the case is, then I won't know until I hear from experts who talk about her past history and what constitutes insanity.
So what you come in here with today to the courthouse is the opinion, a fixed opinion that she's guilty of killing children.
Yeah, I think she's the one who did it, who pulled the trigger. I've never heard anything to any other that anyone else did it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You can step out.
We move for cause, Judge, I was going to do the exact same thing, so obviously whoever goes first, they move for cause, I have no objection.
Motion state and defense 31 is accepted for cause. 32 indicates knowledge of the case.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Just for clarification, you indicated you had a hardship, or did you have media?
For time instances, my son and I run a small business, and it's hard for me to be away for 3 weeks straight.
Okay. And it's a solar business?
Yes.
Okay, what exactly does that entail?
We install solar systems on homes.
Okay, do you have, I guess, what's the contracts pending over the next 3 weeks?
Because of the TECO rebate last Friday, we got 9 contracts Friday.
Okay. Are these contracts things that can be moved around or moved like 3 weeks out?
There's a time thing for them to be finished, but
Is that pursuant to TICO?
to TICO for the rebates.
Is there somebody at TICO you could contact to say, look, I'm in jury duty, can we move some of these back?
Possibly, it is possible. She's not in town this week, but it is possible.
Okay. Who does the installing? Is it both you and your son? Is it something your son could do by himself?
No.
Okay. Is it something that somebody, you guys could hire somebody to do it?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have anybody in mind that already who could do this with your son?
Possibly. I haven't checked. I didn't know it was so long. Possibly I have 2 other sons that do this.
Okay, good. Well, let me ask you this. Let's say, you talk with the person at TICO and they said, yes, we can back up a little bit, and you got your sons, other sons can help out. Would you be able to give 3 weeks of your time to this case?
Yes.
Okay. Would you be able to give 100% of your attention to this case?
Well, yes, it would be 100%. I guarantee.
Okay. Well, maybe on the break, could you maybe contact your sons and see if that's something that they could help you out with? And maybe contact TICO as well?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
No question, Judge.
Thank you, sir. You may step out. Please exit the courtroom.
Nothing from the defense, Judge.
Not from the state either. We just need to bring them back.
Number 33 indicates some knowledge of the case.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. You've indicated that you've had some exposure to this case via the media.
Right.
Okay, can you tell us what kind of mediums it was? Was it print? Was it video?
And on the news.
And on the internet as well?
Right.
Can you tell us in detail what it is you've seen and what you've learned about this case?
Oh, just what happened, and then her being arrested, and then the dad.
Okay, can you be more specific? Anything that sticks out in your mind?
Nothing particular. I mean, it's been a while. I mean, the dad filed for divorce when he came back from Iraq. So she was arrested for it.
Okay. Can you describe to us what kind of video images you've seen of this case, and what kind of photographic images you've seen of this case?
Her being put in the golf cart.
Okay. Can you describe that in any more detail?
Just in handcuffs.
Okay. Did that have any effect on you as to your opinions or your views of the case?
No.
Okay. Is there anything that you've read or seen or heard about this case that has caused you to form a fixed opinion about guilt or innocence?
I mean, honestly,
And that's all we're asking for, is just the honest truth.
I mean, what I see, yeah.
Okay, what is that, sir?
That would be pretty guilty.
Okay.
Just from what I've seen on the news and stuff.
Okay. But you understand that those are just news reports.
Right, I understand.
That's not the evidence, necessarily the evidence in the case. If you're instructed that you got to decide this case based on the evidence that you hear in the courtroom alone, could you set aside your previous opinions or what you saw on the news and just decide this case based on the evidence and you hear? You would hope so.
I hope so. I would think so.
Okay. You have some reservations. Why is that?
Oh, I don't know. Just from what I've seen and heard and stuff, I mean, I would hope I could separate it. But,
Okay. If you were told basically, can you just clear the slate, clean the chalkboard off and come in here with a clean slate, could you do that?
I would think so, but I can tell you 100%. Just from what I've seen and everything, it'd be hard.
Okay. You know, if we're going with percentages, 100 being no doubt in my mind, what kind of percent would you put on it?
50-50.
50-50?
Yeah.
Okay. No other questions. Thank you, sir.
Any questions?
Just briefly, Judge. Sir, so you do have reservations about whether or not you can set aside what you already know about this case. Am I understanding you correctly?
I would hope not, but yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's in your head. It'd be hard to throw it out. No, I didn't see that. I mean, but if the evidence proved different, but saying that it should be innocent, but proven guilty.
Do you think sometimes it's the other way around?
It is the other way around sometimes.
And you feel it would be hard to set aside what you already have in your mind about this case?
Like I said, it's 50-50. I hope not, but it's possible.
Okay. Nothing further, Judge.
Thank you, sir. You may step out. He's actually in the courtroom.
We're just for number 33 for cause. You could not unequivocally state that you could set aside anything he's already learned about the case before he got here.
No objection.
Motion of the defense without objection. 33 is struck for cause. 35 indicates some knowledge of the case. They're going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon.
Hi.
You've indicated that you have some knowledge about this case.
A little bit.
Can you tell us what it is in as much detail as you can?
Just that I heard that the daughter was at the computer when she was killed, and the son was, and that the children were, and to all apparent, excuse me, I'm nervous. They seem to be very good kids, and, you know, the usual people never would have thought that would happen. They lived in a nice home and good neighborhood and so forth.
Okay. Can you describe to us what kind of mediums that you saw this on or read about this? Was it print?
TV.
TV news? Do you know how many stories that you've seen about this case?
Just the one, really.
Okay. Did you, in these media stories, did you hear anything specific about the defendant, Ms. Schenecker?
I'm sorry.
Did you hear anything, did you learn anything specific about the defendant, Ms. Schenecker?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you see any videotape of Ms. Schenecker or any photographic images of Ms. Schenecker?
No.
Okay. Based on what you've seen about this case, well, do you know anything or if you heard anything about the circumstances as to how the children were killed?
They were shot.
Okay. Do you know anything beyond that?
No.
Okay. Based on what you've heard about this case, have you formed any opinions or fixed opinions about this case?
I'd have to say yes, I kind of have.
Okay. What kind of opinion is that?
Kind of leaning that the defendant probably did murder her children.
Okay. You indicated that you're leaning. If you were instructed to basically set aside everything you've heard about this case in the media, and that you are basically to decide this case based on the evidence presented in the courtroom, in the form of witnesses, in the form of exhibits, could you set aside that opinion and what you've heard in the media and basically be a clean slate for both sides in this case?
It would have to be very compelling for me to set that aside.
Okay. Do you understand, have you heard the term presumption of innocence?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a very important legal concept, in our judicial system, that a person is presumed innocent. And basically, as this trial begins, Ms. Schoenecker is presumed innocent. There's no evidence presented, and that there's no evidence presented against her. She's presumed innocent. Beginning of the trial, she's basically not guilty. Would you be able to set aside your opinions and what you've heard about this case and follow that law or that instruction that Ms. Schoenecker is presumed innocent?
I would have to, as I said, I would have to have some really solid evidence saying that she is innocent.
Okay. But at the beginning of the trial, would you presume that she's innocent, knowing that there's been no evidence presented against her?
I would probably be able to do that.
Okay. You said probably. How sure do you feel?
I'm not certain. I have where am I? I've kind of formed the opinion. So I guess you go into that with that prejudice before you get in there.
Okay. And do you feel you could set aside that opinion?
I'm not sure that I could.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any questions?
I'm sorry.
Just briefly, Judge. Hi. You said that you have formed an opinion. What is that opinion?
I feel that she did kill her children.
So you feel that she's guilty at this point?
Yeah.
And that's the opinion you would carry with you into it. And I think what you said was you need something very compelling to set that aside?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. What are the questions, Judge?
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down.
Can I make one statement? When you asked about if I could be here for 3 weeks, I'm not sure at this point that I can. We have some plans made for a trip in June, and we've got the tickets and everything already, so I just wanted to let you know about that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next is Cora.
Judge, I would expect to remember 35 clause. She is no objection as a fixed opinion.
35 on the motion of the defense without objection, instruct the cause. 38 indicates knowledge.
Good afternoon, sir. You've indicated that you have some knowledge about this case?
From the media. Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us in as much detail as you can what exactly it is that you know about this case or that you think you know about this case?
Basically, what I have heard from the media, military family, officer, overseas, and then about an arrest of a woman and 2 children that were killed. That's basically it.
Okay. Did you hear anything about the circumstances about how the kids were killed or the children were killed?
I may have early on. It's been so long now.
Okay. When was the last time you saw any media coverage on this case?
Honestly, this morning.
Okay. How did you see them? Or periodicals?
It was on TV.
Okay. What kind of images were you shown on the TV? Were you shown images of the defendant or photographs of the defendant? Or video?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Okay. Can you tell us? It was photographs. Did you see any video of the defendant?
I did see video also. Yeah.
Okay. What did you see in those videos?
Basically, I think the last video I saw might have been last week even. It looked like they were walking, the sheriff's department were walking for somewhere, courthouse maybe.
Okay. Did that leave any impressions on you?
Possibly. Yeah.
Possibly how?
She was shaking in the video that I saw. She didn't look normal in the video. She looked like she was having some issues.
Okay. The photographs you've seen of the defendant, Miss Schenecker, what impression did those leave on you?
No impressions really. More the video that I had recently seen.
Okay. The media attention that you've seen, or the media coverage that you've seen on the case, has that left you with any fixed opinions about this case?
I thought I might be asked that question, and I've been sitting thinking about it. And of course, I don't know all the circumstances around it. My first impression was that the mother killed her children.
Okay. Is that an impression or an opinion that you could set aside if you were instructed to basically set aside your preconceived ideas about this case, what you've learned about this case? And
about that also.
Okay.
I am open-minded, and again, I don't know all the information. Everything that I have seen has been in the media, so I can't honestly say.
You can't honestly say.
I can't honestly say that I could change my opinion that easily.
Okay. If you were instructed basically to set aside that opinion and be basically a clean slate, just decide this case on the evidence you hear in this courtroom alone, could you do that?
I could say I would try, yes.
Okay. But you don't sound very sure.
Well, I don't know the evidence. I don't think they even presented that in the media. I honestly don't know if they're not.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. You mentioned that you got some information from the media. Do you remember, what is your normal source of news? Do you have one that you like to watch more than others?
Channel 13.
Channel 13? So when you talk about getting information about this from the media, you probably came to from 13?
Yes, sir.
And from what you were able to watch and what you've been able to see in terms of video and media coverage, you say you do have a fixed opinion and you're not sure you could set it aside?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that doesn't imply that you wouldn't do your best, but just to be honest, the question is, can you do that or not?
Well, that's why, I want to be honest. Yeah, I think I formed an opinion early on, and I don't know how easily that can be changed.
Okay. I have no other questions.
Thank you, sir. You may step out. You stepped out.
Which I'll go to strike number 38 for cause.
No objection.
Final remarks.
On the motion of the defense without objection, 38 is struck for cause. All right, counsel. I think I'm going to give court staff, this will be a short break, about 10 minutes, or we'll get up and move around for a few minutes, take about a 10-minute break.